Welcome back to the channel. We're at another dental practice. We are going to be setting up for some testimonial interviews. I have my camera in hand with my wide lens, which will be a 50mm lens. I have to figure out where I want to shoot in correlation to everything in the space. If we go over here, we have big windows. They actually have a nice frost to them, which is giving us some diffused light. Over here, we have a wall, so we have that to play with. We are going to be setting up just a single light that's going on a stand, and we're gonna motivate with what we have here. What we need to decide on is what background we want. So do we wanna shoot straight flat into a wall? Do we wanna shoot into a corner? Which direction do we wanna shoot? And we have to be very cautious with the lighting outside. Luckily, the time of day it is right now, the sun is moving away from these windows and it's actually going behind us this direction. So it was here this morning going over our heads and landing over here at the end of the day. So we should have a constant look coming in unless we get overcast. So that's something to consider. So right now I'm going to work this area with my camera and try to figure out framing and see what I like. So usually I like to shoot into corners if all possible, giving us the most depth. And I'm really liking what I have going on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and fire up the camera here. All right, let me get that going right here. And we're gonna show you what I'm looking at. So right now, I really like this corner. We're getting a little bit of window, but I really like what we have going on here versus shooting towards a flat wall or shooting into this corner where there's a refrigerator. The reverse does not look as good either because it has a TV. It just doesn't look as nice. So I'm really liking the direction of shooting into that nice corner. And we already have a plant there to kind of give us some texture. And I think we're gonna land the people kind of in this world facing towards the light as always and motivating that light with our source. So the next thing I'm going to do is set up my light and get that going. All right, so we have our two cameras here. We have our wide and our tight. Our wide lens is going to be a 50mm f1.2 set to like an f2 something. And then we have an 85 f1.8. Both of them are Sony lenses. We have a G Master and a G lens here. This 85 is our tight and this 50 is our wide. We have our XLR cable coming in from our boom over here. We have a Sennheiser MKH50 for our shotgun mic going into our Zoom F3 for audio, which is 32-bit flow audio, and that carries into the camera via an auxiliary cable. So we have a backup track, we have good clean audio into the recorder, and a safety track going into our wide. And then we just have regular scratch audio here, and we'll sync them up. No lavs. Person comes in for their testimonial, they sit down and they're ready to go. All right, so here is our interview setup. I can't spend too much time to perfect this. I have to just figure it out quickly, set it up, find a spot and make it work. We don't get to change locations or anything like that. So here's my little white piece of paper. I'm in a dental office. It's easy to get a white piece of paper, check white balance. So we have it here. I could turn it this way, but one thing we are missing, our key light. So even though this already looks good because we're kind of getting key from this giant soft source, it's like having an 8x or a 12x coming in here and lighting up the subject. I still want to give a little bit of separation from the background because we are pretty even back there. The microphone does need to get adjusted, but hey, it's nice and close to me right now, so we're getting really good audio. So let me switch to the shotgun mic audio right here and make it work. And what I will do as well is I'm going to go ahead and raise it up. What you want to do is you want to get it just out of frame where it doesn't show up, but you want to get it close to the subject. All right, so the testimonials would look like this. The subject would be looking this direction. You want to get it in line with the subject so it sounds a lot better versus them being off axis really bad and you're not capturing it. So line it up. You could sometimes stand behind them so there in between you and the subject, and you can see a clear line that it's all in a good position. You want to make sure that they don't look over at the cameras because it's weird. They want to look at you, so you get them locked on and they totally forget that the cameras are even there because you're having a great conversation with them. Also, a good plus is if you could find two of the same chair so your heights are the same, so your eye line looks good. And that's it. So we have our testimonial set up. I'm going to set up a light and we'll see what it looks like with the light actually put up and turned on. And you'll see it's not going to take a lot of light to make it happen. But one thing we have to do is we have to match the light that we have in the space and make sure this light pushing through is matching, and we don't have it look a little too cool or a little too warm, and then it'll throw things off because the person will be very orange or they'll be very blue compared to what we have all around, and everything will just kind of look weird. And the same thing applies if we did a light on the subject that was tungsten. We have all this blue light coming in, it would throw things off. So let's get that light set up. All right, guys, so that's a wrap on the day. I am finished. Photos in the morning, interviews, testimonials with some B-roll taken care of later in the day. That wraps it out. I'm gonna load up the cart now, see if this guy follows me. It's following me, yay! All right. So it ended up being a really good shoot. The practice looked really nice. It wasn't really gross old paint or anything like that. The patients did really well, the doctor did really well, so overall it came out good. The lobby area where we do the filming had a really nice look to it, so I was able to get a good framing on everything, and that's really important whenever you're doing these things, is to make it look good and make it look welcoming, and just have a really good shot overall. So that's really important. So this one kind of ticked those boxes where everything ended up looking really nice and just ended up making a really beautiful image. Let me just adjust this real quick. My wireless remote is goofed up, so I have to have access to the remote right there when I push this card on. So, there we go. Now I grab the remote. I tilt up, perfect, looking good, and now we're going up. Perfect. All right, it's following me still. Oh, it lost me. There we go. Now it's pushing the rest of the way into the van.